Hi everyone, this is Tanner here, and today I'm going to give you my favorite picks of round one of the NFL draft. Here's quite the exciting night. And let's begin, which I think was by far the best pick, with Ruben Bain Jr. going number 15 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bain, for me, was one of the best players in this class. I think that a lot of teams overthought his arm length. For me, the whole talk about players' physical limitations, I just don't think land very well. You look at Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, they were quote unquote undersized for quarterbacks. They had great careers. Yes, I think sometimes it can be a bit true, but I think for the most part it's overblown. And I felt that so much for Ruben Bain. The fact that he fell to 15 was insane. I thought he could go number two to the Jets, three to the Cardinals, you know, the Chiefs, so many other places, but he goes to the Buccaneers. Such a good landing spot. Not only does he stay in Florida, but the Buccaneers needed pass rush so bad. Their pass rush was one of the big reasons that team collapsed last year. They have some great secondary players. They have Antoine Winfield and whatnot, but that pass rush just was not there. And you keep Todd Bowles for another year as head coach, a decision I was very much kind of on. I do think this does make things look a bit better. Okay, Todd Bowles can have a great franchise edge rusher. It's been a while since the Buccaneers have had one of those. You have a new era in Tampa Bay. Mike Evans is a 49er. Lavonte David has retired. A lot of new stuff going on, and I love the idea of them getting Ruben Bain. Such a steal. The Buccaneers draft so well, and I thought that Bain was a really great pick. He had 15 amazing stuff. And then we go to his teammate, Akeem Mesidor, another edge rusher, who goes to LA Chargers at 22. And I love this. When I've done these videos, I've talked about the Chargers just kind of need that star on that defense. I think Mesidor can be that. I think he's a really great edge rusher. I'm a bit lower on him than most people, or some people. A lot of people have him at top 10. I think he's more around the 12, 13, 14 range. But to get him at 22, I think is great. The other thing is Mesidor. The big thing is he's 25 years old. That's the big asterisk on him. But the Chargers are ready to win now. They have Justin Herbert. They have Jim Harbaugh. They have a good infrastructure here, right? You have good alignment. You have Ladd McConkey, a great receiver. You have the pieces. I think Akeem Mesidor just can come in and be that X factor in the defense. It reminds me a lot of last year when the Packers trade for Micah Parsons. Yes, Micah Parsons was a bigger name, but the Packers needed edge rush help. They went ahead. They got Parsons. The Chargers needed edge rush help. They went ahead and got Mesidor. I've kind of comped the Chargers and Packers a lot in these types of videos. I think both of them are just good teams. But to go to that next level, I think you need a dynamic edge player. And I think Mesidor, 100%, is that here. I thought a lot of these picks in the end of the first round were not some of my favorites here. But I really do love Amari Cooper to the Jets, wide receiver out of Indiana. And the Jets also took Kenyon Sadiq in this draft, a tight end out of Oregon. I thought that was a good pick. But Omar Cooper I love because you have a great offensive infrastructure with the Jets. You have a really nice O-line. You have Brees Hall, who's a really good back. I'm super high on Brees Hall. You have Garrett Wilson, who's a stud at receiver. Now you pair him with Omar Cooper Jr., who's just a really good, reliable player. Then you have Kenyon Sadiq at tight end. There's an argument to be made that the Jets have the best offensive infrastructure in the AFC East. I mean, the Bills have James Cook, but question marks at receiver. The Dolphins are rebuilding. The Patriots have some pieces. I think the Jets have the best infrastructure. And you have Geno Smith, a veteran, to kind of analyze the offense, call the shots. You could draft a quarterback later in this year to develop. If not, you can pick one next year and just hit the ground running. I really like what New York is doing, and I thought this was a really good um, just pick by the Jets. Omar Cooper Jr., I know a lot of people loved him. I liked him a lot. I think he was just very steady, very much someone who did a lot of the stuff you want too well. So just a really nice pick here from the Jets. And overall, I thought the Jets had a good draft. I thought, David Bailey was maybe a bit too high for my liking up here, going number two. But overall, the Jets, I thought, had a really nice draft here. Next up here, we have Francis Mauigoa to the Giants. I thought Francis Mauigoa was one of the best players in this class, and I love the idea of the Giants going with him. The John Harbaugh Giants, are kind of going this more physical, traditional route. It seems like Harbaugh's kind of bringing back that toughness that the Giants were known for in the, you know, Tom Coughlin era. And I really like that with this pick here. I think getting alignment is great. I think you can move around this line if you want to move Mauigoa to guard. This Jermaine Illuminor, does he get traded? Does Mauigoa become the tackle? We have Andrew Thomas who's on this line. He's an established star. I just like what the Giants have done here with this offensive line. And just going with this physical approach, you have Cam Scatterbo running in the backfield. You have Jackson Dart, the quarterback who can run. I like the toughness the Giants have. I think that's very key, especially to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles, who are known for the great trench play. I think the Giants taking a page out of their book is really smart. And in the last pick, I will have a couple to spotlight. I really love Ione here to the Ravens. As a Ravens fan, I'm happy. Our online struggled last year. Ione was just a really solid, great prospect. Very smooth. I feel like he's one of those players that a lot of people just thought he was really good. Yeah, his overall rank was 15. He goes 14. Just very much, I think everyone kind of thought the same thing of him. Great first pick for the Justin Minter era, the new head coach for the Ravens. Going with just a really nice pick. I can see Ayana being just a very good player for years to come. He's here for 8, 9 years, makes a couple of pros, Pro Bowlers, just as a great player, does everything well. You have Derrick Henry to block for in the running game as well, Lamar Jackson to protect. I just really like that here. And then a couple of the picks here. Then the last pick I really loved was Max Einencher here to the Pittsburgh Steelers, tackle out of Arizona State University. I actually watched Max play live a couple of times, and he was someone who's a very interesting player because his physical traits are amazing. He's really good. I love the pro comp here that they have on him. But at times with Max, he can get a bit, I don't know the words, reckless, but sometimes when the tools all come together, they're amazing. But sometimes putting them together can take a while too. There's a bit of rawness in his game. But I love him to the Steelers. This is a total AFC North Pittsburgh Steelers player. Toughness, just that physicality. I can see him in the snow, hand in the ground, just going to play, blocking these defenders, blocking Trey Hendrickson on the Ravens, blocking Myles Garrett. I can just picture it here. And yeah, other picks I liked was Jordan Tyson here. Speaking of ASU players, to the Saints here. Tyson's a great receiver. I like that a lot here. Just very smooth route runner. I love what the Saints are building with Chris Olave, Tal Shuck, Kellen Moore. I like Jordan Tyson here. The injuries, yeah, are a bit of a thing, but I really do like Jordan Tyson a lot, and I think he's a very smooth player that can fit in very well with the Saints offense. You have Kellen Moore. I thought that was a good pick. I also really like Caleb Banks in this draft class. I understand the injury concerns, but I think he's a really great player, great physical upside, and I love him going to the Vikings in that Brian Flores defense. I think that is a very, very good move. Could really be a fun kind of chaos making player on that D-line. And then Blake Miller as well to the Lions. Really good offensive tackle pick for them. Can help block. Has that physical culture. I feel like both Blake Miller and Caleb Banks really just fit the identity of those teams, what they're trying to do. And then Mekhi Lemon to the Eagles also thought was great. Very happy to have him as an Eagles fan. Dylan Thieneman also great to the Bears. Really nice safety. But that does it, everyone, for round one. Let me know your favorite picks. Until then, take care.